Number 3, 2, 1. Let's go. What's going on, dude?
How you doing, my man? Good to see you again.
I'm back at it. We got slightly different setup here, but we're ready to roll with it.
Yeah, a little different setup here today. As Votary Films, they had a shoot here today that they are breaking down for tomorrow, and basically they need where we do our usual setup, which you can't really see where it is. But it's to our left, and they still have the whole set and everything there. So we just set up in this spot over here, which it still works out. It still looks good. Got it lit up and everything.
Got our bright light right over here.
Oh, yeah. But we're still grateful for the space and happy to be here. Anyway, Amici Podcast, episode 3. 3, everybody.
24.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
Who's counting?
Thank you all for tuning in. So today we don't really have much of a topic and an agenda, I guess, for today's discussion. We were going to have a guest on, but he can't make it tonight. So he'll probably be on next week. So we found this out as of kind of today. So basically, tonight we're
really rolling with it today between the setup and the cameras.
Oh,
and just, yeah, that's what keeps it interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a cool setup. I mean, I'm even feeling just kind of weird holding the microphone on my lap.
Like this. Yeah,
it's an interesting setup for sure. But like you said, we're rolling with it, and we're gonna have fun. But I kind of had this idea, kind of like rolling with it and just kind of saying where we're at, because I think in the past few episodes, past couple episodes, especially the last one we did, we were really I guess talking about some sort of things to digest, I guess, like meditative kind of content topics, goals, setting goals, and kind of reaching for the stars if you got a creative pursuit, business, entrepreneur, art, whatever it may be. Today, I like to maybe do this every now and then. Tonight, what I kind of want to do is just, Giancarlo and I are just going to tell you about our, I guess, current situation, where we're at. That's kind of like part of the reason why we wanted to do this podcast, is to tell you all, give you our sort of story and share with you our own experience. And we're just going to have a complete, unfiltered discussion about, I guess, where we're at, where we're heading, what we're trying to achieve. That's really like what we're trying to do here on this show. That's really like the main thing. I mean, we obviously want to give you guys good content, good topics that you can certainly relate to, but
some talking points for people to get part of the conversation.
Absolutely. But you could probably relate to this too, regardless, even if you're, when you're listening, even if you have a completely different situation, I'm sure you can relate. And I think it'll just be a good little dynamic. Thought it'd be interesting, a good, interesting dynamic for you to see, how me and Giancarlo, how we think, and just what we're trying to do. And that's basically it. So I'm just gonna adjust my seat here.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to the.
I know it is. It is weird.
It's weird,
to
but
get used to when you have the mic in your hands at all times.
Yeah, it's interesting, but like you said, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
So, Giancarlo, are we going to call you Giancarlo or Johnny?
I have so many names at this point. On this show, you call me Johnny. Call me Johnny, call me John. Call me whatever the hell you want.
I think I have, because I'm the one who curates the Spotify, everything, and YouTube. And I basically write you as Johnny, so I could call you Johnny.
That's my stage name. That's my podcast name.
Yeah.
That's been my name. That's been my nickname growing up.
Oh, yeah.
So let's roll with it.
But I always call you Giancarlo.
Yeah. A lot of people do. It's, again, I have many names, many talents and many names.
I've been called by many names.
Well, what's that?
That's Lord of the Rings. That's Gandalf. He says, I've been called by many names.
Dude, I've seen bits and pieces of Lord of the Rings, but surprisingly, this will blow your mind. I don't know what the plot is for the most part. I understand they're trying to like destroy the ring and all that, but I gotta watch it.
Oh, bro, you're missing out, but I'll get you into it. We'll have a day we get into it. But anyway, Johnny, tell why don't you tell a little people listening, or just tell me like what's on your mind lately? What are you going through as far as the creative endeavor that you're trying to start up? Just candid, full frontal, like honest, like
totally
where you're at.
It's tough. It's very difficult for one, especially when you're out of college for, just about 2 years, actually going on 3 years, over 2 years. Right now, I'm just, like I said on the first couple of episodes, I'm just getting started right now. I am, looking to make that crossover from the 9 to 5 into just doing it full time with the music and being able to monetize it and, writing, recording, performing. But specifically what I'm trying to do, and no one ever really talks about this. I heard about this guy who but is doing exactly what I want to do right now. Talking about being a hybrid musician. Mm-hmm. Not your stereotypical, like, oh, you just play out once a week or, a few times a week and you get paid like that. That's one stream of income. This is where the entrepreneurial part comes into it. Being a hybrid musician means, okay, sure, you play out and you showcase your talents and you're able to, tour, what have you, sell merch, a couple basic streams of income in this industry. Those are the first couple things people think of. But also using, a skill that you have, could be guitar playing in my case, could be producing, also what I want to do, could be drumming or writing for somebody. Basically doing what you're doing on the film side, essentially freelancing, being a musician for hire, a studio guy, a producer, while also performing. So that way you're not just limiting your income to one or two streams. That's what my goal is. Be able to build a studio, get a little place together, get some gear, and just make records for people. Have a space for people to rehearse, and also use the money from that to be able to do what I want, recording wise, touring wise, business wise with Verona Rose.
I think that's a very smart plan, a very wise decision to go for. I think it's certainly, I mean, for one, it's great income doing what you love, but it's also a great opportunity for you to, I guess, increase your skills in a way, kind of practice, when you're playing, say, like you're doing so you got your Verona gig, you're playing shows on weekends, you're playing at like Rock Bar or what have you, and hopefully get the bigger venue. Nothing against Rock Bar, but hopefully you want to.
We love Rock Bar.
We love Rock Bar.
Georgie, shout out.
Shout out to Georgie. But hopefully you do want to get the bigger crowds and selling getting people to listen to your music and selling your merch. But when you're not doing that, playing maybe even weddings or
corporate events.
Corporate events, and I think that's it. That would definitely be great practice for you. I think obviously you're not treating it like band practice, but what I'm saying is you count that as like your 10,000 hour rule, as Gladwell says. You're putting in your 10,000 hours when you're doing those gigs. It can't hurt. It can only help you increase your skills, I guess, as a musician, and let alone in other facets of that career that you may call it, whether that be not just musicianship, but handling the equipment and the stage, knowing the ins and outs of your amp, and all your gear, and also just dealing in business, just dealing with people, getting paid.
Especially in that industry.
Yeah, getting paid, working out, the deals with the booking agent or the host, what have you, depending on the situation of the event.
Plenty of headaches.
Yeah, for sure.
Film and music. Mark and I picked really fun, interesting
we sure did.
industries to be in.
We sure did. Because you kind of said that I'm kind of doing this right now. No, hybrid musicians, hybrid videography. I think there's certainly a lot to compare in that. Because in a way, right now, I'm kind of a hybrid shooter. I don't want to be a hybrid shooter, but that's for the past year. That's kind of how I've fallen into. I have the dope, edgy, fiery commercial brand video content that I'm aspiring towards and trying to and specializing in. But I also do shoot weddings. I also do shoot, just corporate meeting type gigs and
got that consistency.
Yeah. So I'm all over the place in that for right now. But like I said, it's good practice, and especially weddings in particular, it's allowed me to be on my feet quicker and learn to tweak different settings and set up in a pinch. Just like that, be that quick. And I think that's a useful skill, especially if you're trying to work on say like actual like feature, like narrative film sets where you may be limited to time and you've got to act quick like that. And you don't have like 20 minutes to put a lens on or something. That's a little tangent, but no, it's you can get those. I guess you don't have to do those sort of random gigs, but they certainly help. I think that they're the best opportunities to gain those kind of skills that you may not get just doing your regular type of gig or the thing that you would want to do.
Definitely.
So I think there's some real value in there. Even if it's something you don't enjoy doing in the moment, it's going to pay off somehow, and you never know who you're going to meet at these corporate events or these weddings.
Exactly.
Do you know John Bon Jovi still plays private events?
Does he really?
Yes, he will still play at like a house party in Long Island or something. Yep.
Oh.
He still does it.
I can see that actually at the same time. It's for him, I guess money talks, but
yeah,
it is a great way to sort of keep your skills sharp. Especially in 2021, like in film and music, the landscape is so different nowadays. For example, like back in the 70s, 80s, if you were in a band or if you were a musician, the process was totally different. Like
totally
the way people did stuff with A&R and scouting new talent and getting people on a label.
Yeah.
We live in a very do-it-yourself sort of environment for both of our respective fields.
Absolutely.
Like this is not like if you get signed to a label today, that doesn't mean shit.
No.
Everybody and their brother can be on a label today.
Yeah. And if you're lucky, they'll give you maybe $5,000 for a recording
to do a record,
which is nothing. That's peanuts.
Yeah.
How much does it cost on average to produce an album? Like $50,000 or something?
Obviously it depends what you're going for, but for a couple singles from start to finish, like from pre-pro all the way to getting it on Spotify, for in my case 2 singles, I'd say you're looking anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000 tops.
Yeah. And that's just for one single, not a whole album.
A couple.
Couple singles.
Yeah, sure. 2-3 singles, 1 to 3 singles.
Sure. Yeah.
Of course, this is all ballpark, but it's not cheap.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you need more than just A&R, a recording contract today, and in a lot of ways, it's do it yourself in every way in both our industries. It's do it yourself because it's in I guess what would seem like negative ways, but I would argue that overall it's a positive. I mean, it's do it yourself in that you have less help. Like nobody's like, you know, the industry is brought down. There's not really much of that, I would say, hierarchy that used to exist. Like, you know, you've got with music, you had A&R and you had, you know, the whole industry that was there to guide you through the process.
Right. You had a manager to pick you up,
right,
to sign you, to sort of do everything for you.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays you got to really be autonomous with all that. Like
Absolutely.
Back then, you know, I'll use this guy as an example, like Tom Zutaut from Geffen Records. When he signed a band like, you know, Guns N' Roses or Motley Crue, he'd approach the band. He'd be like, okay, we want to sign you to Geffen. Here's your advance. We'll get a place for you guys to live, this long budget for you to do the record and everything. Like, you get a record deal today, they're like,
yeah,
like you were saying, cool, here's a few, here's the tab for a few meals and maybe a couple hours in the studio. Like,
right. But
so,
But here's a good thing to that though, is that while you had like people like that you would delegate and take care of all those logistics, at the same time, and this happened many different times, it would happen almost like 8 or 9 times out of 10, where those people that would sign you or those managers, A&R people, what have you, where they would screw you over somehow.
Oh yeah.
They would, you know, they would basically skim off of your contract, or they would just...
They would own you.
Yeah, they would own you, and, you know, maybe they would just... A combination of the artist not really having much financial knowledge, and then they would find themselves owing millions to the IRS, and you kind of... That's on you now. But in a way, that's kind of good because you're not really giving your power to other people.
Right.
You have to come up with that. But here's the other thing is now you don't need... The resources are all available for us to learn.
Absolutely.
If you want to learn how to play guitar or run a band, or if you want to learn how to shoot a camera and make videos and go in business for yourself, you can. It's all on YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
It's all there for you.
Get a masterclass.
Yeah. Or if you wanted to pay for it, for sure, you got masterclass and Skillshare.
Yep.
If not, you just got stuff on YouTube, and you got people on other social media platforms.
Yeah.
Talking about that, sharing their knowledge, and it's great. And not only has it made it more, like, I guess you could say, democratic, but I think in a lot of ways it's made the competition a lot higher because there's a lot more people doing it.
That's the downside.
It's a downside, but at the same time, I think it is pretty intimidating to know that, like, people like me, it's like, wow, I've got all this competition that I need to step up to. But that's a good thing because that forces me to improve myself each and every time and to really try and be the best professional that I can be.
Right.
So I would say overall it's a good thing.
Definitely. No, I would agree with that. It's, you know, very do-it-yourself. It's very... The good, awesome thing about everything now is that everything is very accessible to us. We're able to, you know, like I mentioned to you before, like I literally started my own label officially. I got it registered.
What's it called again?
Spy Pond Records.
Spot Pond or Spy Pond?
Spy Pond Records.
Spy Pond Records, got it.
So we're putting all of Verona's music out on that. If you go on to Spotify, that's literally what the copyright says. So, and the good thing with that too is not only is it just a way for me to be like, okay, I'm slapping a copyright on something as an independent artist, but my goal is to build an enterprise around that name and produce people under that name too.
Yeah.
So really a great thing that we're able to do film and music in a very do-it-yourself way in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really a blessing. It's like, you know, I think that the time we live in right now in particular, it's certainly got its downs. You know, it doesn't take a genius to see that. But people in professions like ours, I think it's certainly a good time to be alive and to go create. So you'd say, okay, so that's kind of your goal right now, is to be that hybrid musician, more or less. Yep. You know, be full time with Verona, and to make ends meet, you know, you work these corporate events, weddings, what have you, commercials, things like that. Is that, do you kind of like have a plan? Do you think like you want to go for that like in the next year and then maybe do that until X amount of time, or like what are you thinking? Like,
yeah, I would say definitely within the next, like, to make the full crossover, I would say probably within the next year, 2.5 years, 2 years tops.
To start that, or to
completely, get into it full time. Like, obviously, I'm still kind of like, trying to make the crossover now between 9 to 5 and figuring everything out with that. But ideally within the year, yes.
I do think it is possible for you to even maybe, if you really want to jump the gun, I think you can start sooner.
Yeah.
If you just start networking like you already have been, I mean, I think that's one thing that, I learned starting out. I mean, I'm technically I am starting out, but really building the network is super important. And I think what I kind of wish I did was focus solely, well, I shouldn't say solely, but devote a big portion of my time to the networking aspect.
Definitely.
Because those are going to be the people, I'm not saying like, coming to these people, like trying to sell them on something, like book me this gig.
Right. You never want to sell anybody.
Buy this product, whatever. No, you don't want to sell people.
Yeah.
But
because people never buy from a salesman.
No, absolutely not. People don't like salesmen. They hate salesmen. But if you just spend more of that time just meeting the people that you want to meet, that not only you think will help you, but you can have a good relationship with, and you just spend that time, even just offering them something for free. If you play like I don't know, it's different for music. I'm not telling you to like, play for free, but for me, that's how I got to where I am, is just, building my portfolio, creating free content for local people that I was really interested in. And that got me the word of mouth.
Right.
And that's what you get from networking. You don't get that, like I said, you don't get that from sales or marketing.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, I don't know how about you would do it, but if you like did that sort of networking thing.
Hey, I'll play on your record for free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
I'll be a session guy for,
There you go.
Obviously not forever, but just to get your foot in the door.
Well, you say why you're doing it too. You say why you're doing it for free. Like, hey, I'm really trying to get my music career launched. I really want to get out of this 9 to 5 bullshit and really just go full time for musicianship. And also, those people are going to be inspired to hear that too, especially if you're trying to work with other musicians, like play on their record. They'll love that, and they hear you play, they would happily have you on, and you just under promise and over deliver for them. I'm sure it's like you're not expecting, like the way I always say it is like, don't expect like the favor to be returned, but you hope for it.
Right.
And like I said, just focus on building the relationship.
Definitely.
And they will help you in return, I think.
Yeah.
Because people, they want to help each other, especially like older, like, or more experienced, more seasoned professionals. They want to help others,
Especially if they see that drive in you. And if not only the drive, but you execute upon that drive, and you're, you put your money where your mouth is.
Absolutely.
I think that's at least in my experience thus far, like that gets you really far.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. No, that does get you far. And so anyway, if that's something you want to jump the gun on, and like you said, you could still keep your job meantime, but then once you feel like you've built up that network, I think you can go for it. I think it's
I totally know I can do it.
Yeah, it's definitely. Excuse me, I just burped. I don't know if the mic picked it up. Maybe I didn't even have to say that. Anyway, I think it's totally possible for you to do that easily within a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should do that. Yeah, you should set that within
definitely.
a year.
I mean, the wheels are already started in motion. I just got to capitalize on that and just keep networking, and that's it. And I'm really excited. I'm really just enjoying the process, even when it's difficult.
Yeah.
I got to be grateful for it all, because it's what makes you that musician or that filmmaker.
Absolutely. No, I am happy for you too. I'm excited for you as well, and I think you've definitely come a long way, even just in the past year or year and a half, even like I mean, just because we've been friends, like we've said, for years and years. And for you to have that sort of vision in your mind and kind of have a realistic plan, but also you've got your dreams too that you're reaching for. And I think because, like, you know, when you were in school, you're in college, or even just even like I said a year or two ago, you wouldn't have had this plan. You were, if anything, you were focused more on just working the 9 to 5.
Working the 9 to 5. I was still
be a weekend warrior, but now you're like I'm ready to fully commit.
Exactly. I guess that goes with time too, you know, especially fresh post grad.
Yeah.
You're like, you know, what am I doing? You know, you get an idea, I'll go into sales, I'll go into finance, but you know, I think a lot more people are just falling in line. Post grad, they're like, okay, I'll get an HR job, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then, you know, at the same time, there are some people that will be like, you know, hey, well, what if I did this? What if I kind of pushed the envelope and didn't just fall in line? And they become entrepreneurs. They become, you know, they start their own real estate kind of thing. They step out of their comfort zone.
Totally.
And that's really cool. And you've done that.
I've done that.
You've done that this past year.
I've done, and everything you said from A to Z, I did that fully. Like when I was in film school, I mean, that was kind of my mindset. Like, okay, I guess I just have to fall in line. I have to find a regular job. And it took a long time before I could even just get a basic, like, you know, bare minimum basically job that was somehow in the industry. And I thought that's like where I was going. And I couldn't figure out why I was so unhappy with it. And I just like felt like a hole, like where am I going? But it's no surprise because I wasn't doing what I loved. And it just, you know, I couldn't fall in line. And I kind of felt like I always knew that, but
yeah, that gut
deep
feeling
down, but I just couldn't like, I think part of that is though, part of that is of growing up. You know, when you're young, you do just kind of listen to what people tell you because you don't think you're smart enough or wise enough or strong enough or skilled enough to go with your gut and do what you feel is right.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. And then you kind of realize, well, you know, these people that are telling me these things, they don't have their shit together. And I see a problem and I have a solution. And I've got a skill that I know people will pay for, so why not go for it?
Yep.
And no, I think that's definitely important. It's true, and I think a lot of people listening to this can resonate with that. And just in general, I see it all the time. I see it a lot out of the pandemic too, because you know, in COVID, they were just kind of like, you know, why are we? You had some people, especially people like. They lost their jobs and, you know, they were like collecting unemployment. They're kind of like, well, where's my life going? Because unemployment sucks, man. But then, you know, they're kind of like, well, I didn't even like that job anyway. I didn't even feel fulfilled. I was just getting by. And now unemployment is paying me more than that job was. And then these people are like, you know, why don't I start a business?
Yeah.
Why don't I do what I love? And then that job tries to call them back, and they're like, hell no, I'm making way more money now.
I'm not doing that. Yeah. Yeah. No, the pandemic is, like I was saying in that film that we actually shot here for the band and for the record.
Yeah.
The pandemic has got people to come out of their comfort zones.
Totally.
Like, necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll do this. I'll make a record. I'll make some new music. I don't know any artist this past year and a half that didn't make some kind of new music.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough times create great things.
Yeah. And I think they easily sort out the people that are really in it for, you know, that are sincerely in it for the love of it, or those that are the faint-hearted, I guess you could say. Because there were a lot of people, I think, that did kind of fall back in the comfort zone during COVID and stayed there. But if you're listening, you're probably not one of those people. Johnny and I certainly are not those people. So, yeah, I think COVID, certainly, we can just speak for me and Johnny. COVID certainly shaped us into who we are now, I believe. 100%. 100%.
No doubt.
I was a totally different person before COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm changing every day. I'm trying to improve myself each day.
We're still both, like I say all the time, and I'll continue to reiterate on this show, like Mark and I are still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Like we're never going to just be stagnant.
Yeah.
We're always going to keep evolving. And we're just trying to figure this thing out just like everybody else. The only difference is we're just getting on a show and documenting it.
Yeah.
That's
like I said, that's why we created the show, is to document this whole journey. And no, I'm always trying to improve myself. And, I see certain flaws or things I need to work on. And your true friends are the ones that'll point those out to you in a healthy way. Like I've got you and I've got other friends close to me that I'm grateful for, that will point out those things and help me, they will guide me to where I want to be.
Right. Those 5 people.
Those 5 people, like we talked about in the last episode, those 5 people that you basically come to represent by spending a lot of time with them. I mean, for me, at least, I guess it's just kind of, where I'm trying to go is, so like I said, I'm kind of in that sort of hybrid stage that you're talking about right now. And it's great because it's like, I don't have to work a regular job. I can't remember the last time I had to show my resume or anything. I think I still have my resume in my computer. I'm just going to trash it. I'm just going to...
Well, at the same time, like
an FU.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. At the same time, I think it's cool for you to put down everything you're doing now and just be like, a different kind of resume, like,
oh yeah,
if you will,
yeah,
like just your film resume. I think that'd be good for you to just kind of document everything and be like, okay, well, I've done this, I'm capable of this, just so if somebody wants to hire you or if they really do want to see everything, you can just be like, cool.
Yeah, well, so like what you're talking about is like a reel, which is definitely important.
Right.
For
that's what
hired.
I'm getting to.
I'm talking about that stupid ass
like the old school
that you make. Yeah, like
yeah.
I shouldn't say, because I know you've been trying to do that to just get like,
I have
a job.
I can't completely throw it out.
But one day you will throw it out, and you will not need that.
I will be I will be full time with it.
If I tried getting a regular job now, they'd say to me, "What's this 3-year gap?"
Well, at the same time, even companies, like some really good companies will be like, wow, this is all depending on the company. But I know some people and I've heard of people that have actually wanted to do corporate stuff that were like, hey, I wasn't employed by, I didn't have a W-2, but I ran my own business and did this. And I'm like, now they want to get back into the corporate world for whatever reason. They need a job. And it's really admirable when you see even that you have run your own company.
It is.
It's like, wow, this guy had the balls to fucking start his own thing and assume all this risk and do that. Like that to me is something very impressive on a resume.
Oh, it totally is. And that is a great point. That's a super big thing you show on a resume. And that is actually very common, where like a lot of at least especially in film and video, it is very common where people will go freelance for a few years and, basically just to kind of do what I'm doing. And maybe they network, they find that kind of corporate client, have you, or just somebody they met, or even they applied, and they end up working full time as whatever, fill in the blank name company's videographer, whether that be, just speaking in the New England area, whether I've seen people like, whether they freelanced for some time, shot like weddings, what have you, commercial content, and then they're working full time for Dana-Farber or UMass or pick it, name a company, a university even.
The Kraft Group.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of the people actually here at Votary, where we're at, a lot of them, that's kind of how they started. They freelanced, and eventually whether they interned here or something, they basically, were picked up and now working here full time, and they got a great network here.
Absolutely.
Shameless plug for Votary.
It's awesome. Yeah. This place is great, and any way I can support Votary further, I definitely plan on doing so. And whether that be doing a video here, I know people wanted to do that.
Yeah, we'll be planning that for sure.
Yeah.
So I guess where I'm at, I just need to kind of figure out how to slither my way out of this sort of hybrid kind of shooting thing. I think it served me well. Like I said, I've learned a lot from it. I think my skills have improved by doing it. Mm-hmm. But I'm coming to a point in my career where I think I need to take another risky step.
Yep.
And my mentor was kind of guiding me with this and saying, like, here's what you could try. Like, and he said, even do a video on it, document it. And he said, like, say that you will not pick up like any weddings or anything like that. Any gig that is not in line with where you want to go, where you're trying to go creatively, where it's going to best suit Mark Aiello and fulfillment. And, take a big leap and just, for me, I think what I want to try and do is like, I will after this year, when we get into the new year, especially, I think, just because I think that's when I will have cleared up the projects that I'm currently working on. I want to figure out a way. I don't know what my plan is, but I want to figure out a way to just build that network, this time with the higher end, like people in the corporate level. Mm-hmm. So Under Armour, Harley Davidson, companies to name Noble, just some companies like that to name a few, where I want to be noticed and be working for them, with them, to create banger video content. Mm-hmm. So it's not gonna be easy. I know that. Like I said, I don't know what my plan would be. Maybe I just need to use LinkedIn more, or just
pitch to them. Just go right up to this. Obviously, it's a little different, but so far in my experience, I find that I get the gig, or at least have a much better chance of getting a gig or the show, whatever it is, just by walking in.
Yeah.
Just walking in, because people believe what they see with their own two eyes a little more than, hi, I'm writing you to do X, Y, Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know exactly how you'd go about it with film, mm-hmm. but if you can figure out a way to make it a little bit more personal, a little bit more, I guess, unorthodox in how you pitch and showcase what you're offering to these bigger name brands and really get to the next level, mm-hmm. I think that's how you'll do it.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate way to sum it up. That's basically how you do it. I just think about well, what do I do? Networking events, or do I go in person? Mm-hmm. Things like that. That's kind of what I got to figure out. I'm not gonna have the answers right here and now for you. I'm gonna meditate over it, really think about it. But
yeah,
that's where I gotta go. I need to kind of level up and take a big step, and maybe along doing so, I need to better my social media presence. I need to better brand myself, and I can even use this time maybe to work on literally branding myself and invest in merch and all these exciting things.
Yeah. Merch. Give Dorbin some business.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Dorbins. He will be our guest on the next show. Iron Punisher. Go check out his brand. He's one of my good friends. I work out with him every day. So
he's awesome.
Yeah, he's the best. But that's more or less where I'm at. Just getting at that hybrid sort of, full-time freelancing, what I'm doing, which is great. But I want a full-time freelance particularly in the niche that I'm trying to go for. I also know that it's not going to take, it's going to take some time too.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is technically my first year in business as far as getting paid to create video content on my own, freelancing. This is more or less my first year, and it's been a good first year, I'd say.
Yeah. You broke the ice.
That's a good way to sum it up. I broke the ice, and I'm ready to keep going. It's just, there's multiple challenges with this. One is maintaining that ice so I don't fall through so I don't fall and have to pick myself back up, which certainly will happen. And you will have to pick yourself up. That's just the nature of the game.
Ebbs and flows.
It's ebbs and flows, but you will get back up.
Yeah.
So I got to maintain that, but I also got to, like I said, level up somehow.
You want to dive deeper.
I want to dive deeper, and that's the challenge. And just trying to just thinking big, just reminding myself, because I think that's one of my flaws is I can have really big ideas, but when it comes to applying them, it's kind of like what we were talking about goals last week. Sometimes, most of the time, I feel like a lot of us don't set big enough goals, don't set high enough goals, and I want to make sure I'm doing those things, that I am setting the big enough goals, that I'm making sure that I have the big fish to fry. Because if I don't, I will not get there if I'm too worried on being practical and realistic, then I won't have much of an index, I guess you could say, to push myself and get further ahead to those goals.
Right.
So
I think people also go wrong with goal setting too, to add on to that.
Yeah.
I didn't mention this last time, but I'm thinking of this now. Like, people will have those large big goals, but again, it's like, okay, well, how are you going to get there? Like, I think it's like, okay, cool. It's great if you have a big goal, but it's all the in between where a lot of people go wrong. It's like, okay, well, what systematic steps are you going to take to, to be making content for Nike, or for me to be on tour with the Foo Fighters, or, So, and again, that's the $1 million question. But I think you got a great head on your shoulders, and I think we both are going to get there. And I think we got the right attitude going into it, in spite of all the difficulties that it's inevitable. We're going to face these challenges.
Oh yeah.
But I think you get a great head on your shoulders, and you're going to be very successful with it.
Oh, I appreciate that a lot. And I know you will be fine too. And like you said, we will face adversity, but it's a matter of how we deal with that and keep moving forward. That's
Definitely
what makes a winner.
That's it.
It's not about it's like your favorite Rocky quote. It's not about
just gonna say
I'll let you say it. So.
I swear to God, this was on my Instagram for the longest time. I gotta get it back up there, but I switched.
We're both behind on the social media.
We are behind on the social media.
Yeah.
I got to keep going with that. But anyway, still, I think the greatest quote of all time is, "It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving, and how you keep moving forward." Right. Yeah. How hard you get hit and keep moving forward.
That's it. Exactly.
And that's not even advice for our respective fields, being an entrepreneur. That quote is a testament to life.
Mm-hmm.
And not to get all philosopher on you, but it really is all about how you react to things.
Mm-hmm.
Or I shouldn't say react, because reacting is one thing. I think reacting is a little bit more of a negative thing. It's how you respond to it.
Right.
Getting back to the whole Marcus Aurelius thing, it's how you take that obstacle and use that to your advantage.
Absolutely. Well, this is because, I'm a storyteller, and this is big with story, is that particularly with a good character, is that a good character doesn't react to situations. A character acts.
Right.
There's a big difference. Reacting is just when something out of your control happens and you are, you are just kind of picking up from there.
Right.
It's like, you're just, I don't know a better.
You're totally thrown off course.
You're thrown off course, or you may do something like, I don't know. Stranger, here's an example, bad example, but stranger throws a bottle at you.
Yeah.
You react, you fight back, or whatever. You call the cops, or
you hurt the guy.
Yeah, that's a reaction.
Yeah.
But an action is when you put emotion and all external turmoil, you put all that aside, and it's an internal decision that somebody makes. That's an action.
Right.
That's when the character acts.
Calculated.
And that's I think that would make us all better people if
Yeah.
we just acted more instead of reacted, or just did things off of our emotions.
Be a German Shepherd.
Yeah, be a German Shepherd, like we talked about the last episode.
Yeah.
Have that tunnel vision for success.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's amazing, like, how powerful emotions are and what they can do to people if they just react.
yeah.
Can you think of anything like where people have lost it all by reacting as opposed to responding? If that makes any sense.
Can I think of a particular example of when
Yeah,
people
like have you heard any, like, whether that be a celebrity or somebody who was successful or in a significant position and they reacted to something badly and that either jeopardized their whole career or just totally caused them to put their dreams and their aspirations with whatever they're doing by the wayside?
Oh, for sure. Anytime somebody in a position of power or an important kind of figure, celebrity, what have you, anytime they react, and it's always emotional or an emotional reaction, it always affects them adversely and negatively.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished reading Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
You got to read that one too.
You got to read that. It's a wonderful book. It's like the original self-help book. But he talks about, in the beginning, he talks about Abraham Lincoln, and he even says, like, a side note, like, just imagine how better we would be in our lives if we just had a picture frame of Abraham Lincoln in our office or in our bedroom. And we looked up to it every day and said, what would Abraham Lincoln do in this situation? Or like, what would Lincoln do here? Whatever,
I'm adding that to the holiday wish list.
Yeah.
For Christmas time, you will see a Abraham Lincoln picture
Totally.
in my shopping cart.
Totally. Well, Lincoln, he cites Lincoln in particular when he was younger, when he was running for office, before he was president. I can't remember if he was like senator. No, I don't think he made it. Anyway, he was running for office. I'm trying to remember the exact situation, but he spoke ill. He kind of slandered his running mate somehow, or he didn't. I don't even think he did it publicly, but it got out publicly, and his opponent used that against him. I'd have to look at the whole story, but you can look that up for yourself if you want. But like, there was a particular moment where, like, Abraham Lincoln, like, you think, like, was Abraham Lincoln so wise and able to make the decisions the way he did and bring literally a torn apart country together? It's like, and be so, above all, be so articulate and calm and stoic about it.
Because he fucked up.
He made a big fuck up earlier on in his career.
Yeah.
And he made a vow to never speak ill about people and criticize them. He made a vow to never do that again. And that's what he did. And, it's what got him through the revolution. Anytime, like, if somebody opposed him, even if it was something like really, really opposing, like whether he was dealing with, the Confederate, South, what have you, you notice he never criticized anyone ever again.
You talk about a president that was an excellent communicator. I think, not only for me, but I would almost say unanimously, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, he was probably the greatest president we ever had.
Yeah, for sure. Unified the country together. And
he did unify.
Absolutely. Yeah. But anyway, I bring that up because I think that's having that attitude, that mindset will certainly yield positive results. And to not act out of emotion. That's, I think, what you and I got to do. We can't let our emotions dictate what's in front of us and the work we have to do. And
I think I've been pretty good with that lately.
You have been good. I think we've both been good with it, and I'm being a little more self-aware, and you have been too. And one of the ways I'm trying to figure out is just by writing more, just journaling more. And
yes, definitely.
Even yesterday, I was like stuck in the middle of a project. I just emotionally was just not feeling it. But I just took my little book out and just wrote, like, Like, just don't. You feel emotional right now. Like, just you're being mindful of it all. Just don't succumb. Just remember the work. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Why you're alive today. So just keep going. Just do it.
We're human beings, man.
Do it. You need to take a breather. You need to walk around. That's fine. But
yeah,
you can't. You're at a block right now. Just keep going.
Power through
Something
it.
will happen. Just power through.
Power through it.
That helps.
Pain is temporary.
Yes, pain is temporary. What are some things that you're learning about yourself right now? Like,
well, first and foremost, it's pretty much been solidified in my mind that I'm not a brain surgeon. That's what I've learned for starters. But what I have learned is that, obviously, just off the rip, like, I'm a hell of a lot more capable of doing these awesome things entrepreneurially than I thought I was before. The pandemic helped me a lot too, in a similar way to you, and it made me realize, like, well, you know what? Maybe I actually can do this. Like, can do the whole I can't talk today. The whole entrepreneur thing, and maybe I can go on tours. Maybe I can guest on people's records. Maybe I can build a brand for myself. I think I also am realizing too, like, how difficult it is. Like I said at the beginning, like, this is not a cakewalk.
Totally.
This is it's a force to be reckoned with. Is that the saying? Not to be reckoned with?
Yeah, something like that.
It's an animal. And you have to respect it. Like Stephen Pressfield says in The War of Art. I know we were talking about that book.
Yeah.
Like, nothing is guaranteed. And you have to pay your dues, and you have to give your respect to the craft.
Yeah.
Because you can be knocked on your ass, and you got to give it the respect that it deserves at the same time. Like, you can't get too cocky. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to make a killer record, or I'm going to make $1 million, or I'm going to make a better film than Scorsese. Like, it's always good to stay humble and to be like, no, like, I'm grateful to have all this stuff, and I'm going to respect the craft for what it is.
That's very noble. So a lot of it, I guess, is kind of having professional and stoic attributes and characteristics, right, that you've been trying to hone in on and keep in mind. Yeah.
I know I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but
well, no, but it says like where you kind of are at. But
go
ahead.
Yeah, and if those are just a few things that I've learned about myself. What do you think you've picked up for yourself past year and a half? What have you?
Oh, well, lots. I mean, start like from like where like COVID began, when I decided to pursue this full time. I mean, I've learned that, trying to sum it up in a few more ways than one. I guess I've learned that I am like a little harder on myself than I need to be, and perhaps you need to be, you need to be hard on yourself and to push yourself, but almost like I need to work on my self-confidence a little better, as far as, I am really talented in what I do and skilled. But
You are.
It's like I show that, but like, I guess I don't wear it on my sleeve. If that makes any sense? Like, show it.
I'm guilty of the same.
Yeah.
I think everybody is, though, especially if you're doing this. These are tough things we're trying to do, man.
Yeah, it is tough. And although I've learned that I'm also like, I'm pretty good at making decisions.
You are.
I think I'm a good decision maker, and I still need to work on, controlling my emotions, and, I shouldn't say controlling my emotions, but to keep them in check and to not act out of them, like we were talking about, not reacting. And in terms of business, I don't usually do that, but I need to, just in all facets of life, all walks of life, I need to work on that. But also I need to take more risks, I think.
Me too.
I haven't assumed that much risk, or just like, I'm just talking in general, like take like big risks. Like if I have a project I'm approaching, I need to come in with a mindset of kind of like, okay, what would be a big risk here? Like what could like really potentially make this project go wrong, but could also make it like excel and make me improve better and just make the whole project look better. Like what are some ways? And I think that's how any successful creative or entrepreneur, I think that's how they think. And
totally.
So I'd say those are a few things. There's more. I know it. And I'm keeping them in mind every day and I'm writing them down. But those are some things I learned as far as things that I have and things that I need to work on. So
definitely. You just made me think of this, and it's, going off a risk you were just mentioning, like, what an inspiring story that I heard, and this is kind of like what the story is with this guy. It's sort of well known. I don't know the ins and outs of everything, like specifically what he did, but the story of Colonel Sanders with KFC.
I think I've heard this, but tell me.
That guy didn't become successful until late on. Yeah. You want to talk about a guy that hit every roadblock and then some? Look at Colonel Sanders. That guy, I think he grew up pretty poor. Yeah. Again, don't quote me on any of this, but it was like a 2.5 minute video on like one of those BuzzFeed kind of YouTube accounts. But he grew up pretty disenfranchised. Didn't really have a great situation getting started with his family, I believe. Tried a ton of different jobs. Either didn't get a job, or he was let go, or he quit. And this continued well into his professional career. The guy had a bunch of startups, and I don't even think he wanted to start to be a chef, or open his own restaurant franchise, or make fried chicken. Yeah. But eventually, he came up with a recipe for Kentucky Fried, and I guess it was a flop at first, or somebody didn't buy it, or they didn't believe in him, and he kept failing and failing and failing again. We're talking 20-fold, literally 20-fold, and he eventually became Colonel Sanders. Wow! He built that brand for himself. He built the biggest chicken franchise in the world.
I'll have to read that story because it sounds pretty inspirational.
Yeah.
Very, very, I guess, relatable.
Yeah. I mean, we think we have it bad. And every time I'm getting oh, this sucks, or this situation sucks, I always think of Colonel Sanders, who didn't have half the blessings, that I have, you and I have, a lot of people have today. I'm very fortunate and grateful to have those. I think of him, it's like, my God, this guy didn't have anything. Yeah. And he still built a fucking empire for himself.
Literally an empire of fried chicken. Do you think, I feel like I don't want to say it always has to be, but I just feel like all these success stories, they always happen. The story always begins with I started from nothing.
Yeah. And those are the people that get everywhere, because they get really far because they got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They have that, unsatiable hunger to get that because they've already been at the bottom.
Totally.
There's something to be said. You and I were talking about this. There's something to be said about people that come out of really shitty situations.
Yeah.
They're least likely to succeed and then end up making millions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's nuts, dude.
Absolutely. Well, taking this back to ourselves, to focus on us individually here. So you got this hybrid shooting plan, our hybrid musicianship plan.
Yeah.
Back to square one.
Yeah. Definitely.
So what's keeping you from getting there now? And then what's keeping you from getting to your bigger goals after that? Like, what are the things that are holding you back, and what do you need? What's it going to take for you to get to those steps?
College debt.
College debt, yeah.
I mean, I know I
real.
joke about it, but it's
real.
It's legit. It's real. It's not just something I'm going through. It's it's something most of the kids our age right now are going through. It's like, it really is like such a huge obstacle right now.
And not to make you feel shitty, and not to, have a pity party for you, but like you do. I honestly think you do have it way worse than most kids do.
Yeah, but again, there's a lot of kids that are in debt like $400,000 or $500,000. You know what I mean? Like
I guess so.
It
I
could always.
I don't think that's average though, is it?
That's not average. I mean, doctors, nurses, what have you. Obviously, they'll be in a ton more debt than I am, but
for sure.
I mean, again, I get it. I mean, it's not like an ideal amount of debt to have, but again, I don't think at the same time to sort of respond to that. Like, I don't think it's an insatiable amount of debt, but again, it is tough, and the economy's garbage right now.
It is garbage.
But I would say, I mean, it's always, I mean, just like everybody else, I think, money is definitely something, but I do have a plan to, get there, obviously, like what we're talking, monetize this, take it step by step. Again, like you were saying, this isn't going to be overnight.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be something where I'm just going to wake up and be like, oh, I'm a musician who's doing this full time. Like, this is going to be a very gradual, systematic process that I'm going to have to take, that I've already started taking. But again, Rome wasn't built in a night, and that's it. I'm just going to enjoy the grind.
For sure, yeah. Are you starting to feel like in recent times, like we can talk about this, like in recent times, like we talked about kind of in the past year and a half, what we've noticed about ourselves, what we've had to work on or whatever. Is there anything in recent times that you're noticing about yourself, or whether it's you feel like you need to improve on, or you feel like you've something you've gained, like in a good way, like anything you noticed like in recent times, like past month or two?
Yeah. So what? Just like something I've just gained, like something good
Whether
I'm doing, or
knowledge, skill, or you've discovered another thing about yourself that maybe you didn't see before, whether that's a virtue or a vice, what have you, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess kind of to give a virtue and a vice. That's what I'll do. And maybe you can do the same thing after. Like, for vice, I'm realizing that I'm the most impatient guy in the world. I am so, like, I'm very type A. I'm very like, come on, let's go. Like, I want to get this done. Like, I got the energy and this drive, but at the same time, like, I want, I guess I want it all really fast, and that's not realistic. I know a lot of people like that too. It's a double-edged sword, I guess. Like, you have that drive and that hunger to just get everything done quickly and as efficiently as possible, and you're all excited in the meantime. But I guess the downside to that is that, we can get sometimes we can be disappointed when things don't happen as quickly as possible or as soon as we'd hope them to. Yeah. That's a vice, but to end it on a positive note, I would say that, kind of like I was saying before, like, I'm realizing that I do have a lot of very good entrepreneurial skills. Like I said, I've worked in sales, I've worked in business, selling tough things too. I used to sell renewable energy in Boston, for crying out loud. Like,
you've got some stories there.
I have a lot of stories. I'll have to get into some.
Trying to sell people in Jamaica plain energy. I don't know.
I did pretty good with it.
Yeah.
I did pretty good with it, actually.
Yeah.
That's how I cut my teeth with sales, man. But I'm realizing, though, that, not only am I like, a salesperson, Yeah, I hate identifying though as a salesperson. Like, I'm not a guy that's gonna sell you sell me this pen. Like, I'm not like that. I'm a guy who solves problems and offers you a solution for it. Like, I'm realizing that I'm doing that and tailoring that sort of approach and mindset to what I want to do with the music.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to do that.
Totally.
Regardless of if you're in your position or my position. We have to be entrepreneurs about it.
Yeah, you need that mindset, that outlook, that attitude.
Yeah.
To circle to me, I mean, I kind of was already saying it earlier, but I guess, in particular, I mean, I guess I have noticed, like, I'm still, I need to overcome that. I think it's just personal shit that I need to work through, like the belief in myself that I can do it, because it is things are starting to look more tangible now. Like, I can envision getting to where I want to be. It's not a pipe dream anymore. I can see the roots coming up. It'll happen. I know it can, but I just need to sell it more.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you've already got. I need to kind of get that skill of being able to, like, really, like, sell it and but also, have a position, have a composure, I guess you could say, of authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be, like, people to see me, like, as the decision maker.
Say it with your chest, yeah.
They trust me with my craft and my creativity, but it's like, is he a leader? Is he a decision maker? Does he have the authority? Like, I think that's what I kind of need to showcase. And
I think you just got to assume the role, I got
to assume the role. And
yeah.
But in terms of, I guess, I don't know if you wouldn't call that a vice, but it's something I need to work on.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, once I achieve it, and I can achieve this, like, it's just a thing I just need to reaffirm with myself every time. That's, I guess, how you do it. I still need to work on that on my own, right? But as far as, like, things that are really kicking off me, that I'm really, like, in recent times that have really helped me, is a lot of things. I'm trying to hone it in down to, like, one or two things, but I do think the confidence is coming, though. I am getting
totally
more confident. However, I'm being a lot more self-aware. That's one thing I think I do have that a lot of people don't have, especially my age, is self-awareness.
Yes. You know who you are.
I know who I am, and I know all the ins and outs, all the good, the bad, and ugly about myself, and I can say it honestly, which very few people can do, but I can do that. And so, like, I have the confidence in myself, because I've been doing so well lately, but, like, could I have had that confidence in myself if I say I had no business?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a problem, I think, with a lot of people, especially men today, as far as, like, insecurities. And they think, like, oh, I'm gonna be this kind of person after I've made, like, this amount of money. It's like, that's not a healthy way of thinking.
It's not.
Like,
yeah.
Because you'll still be that insecure person after you've made that money, unless you've truly done some work on yourself as a human being.
Yeah,
So,
you can't have that all or nothing mindset, I guess, in terms of that, like, oh, I'm only going to be able to do this if this rite of passage happens.
Yeah.
Or if this,
totally.
Like, oh, I won't, this is again, garbage analogy. Oh, I won't be ripped until I'm, a bodybuilder at Gold's Gym.
Right.
Like, again, shitty example, but, like, you get my drift?
Yeah, like, you won't have that belief or confidence in yourself until you get to that
stage.
To that exact stage that you're thinking of.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is not a healthy way. No, I get what you're saying. And that's true. It's not a healthy way to look at things. And so, just working on the confidence and also, just being able to, like, take those risks and make those big jumps.
Yeah.
And do it out of, like, a kind of that state of mind where you have that kind of, like, frantic, like, fly by the seat of your pants kind of mindset. Whereas I'm more methodical, I would say, as far as a professional. That's how I work.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more methodical and very much a step-by-step kind of guy.
Yeah, you are.
I'm
totally.
very much like that, which is good. But sometimes I need to be able to make those like jump the gun kind of fuck it up, why not decisions.
Dude, I love that shit.
Yeah.
I think that's what keeps me going, though.
Yeah.
And I think for you, though, that's what keeps you going is that methodical sort of thing. And I think,
Yeah.
I think that's why we're friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
balance
I guess
each other out.
that chemistry kind of balances each other out.
Right. Well, it's like I said this with you when we were having coffee together, like how we were so similar yet so different. But it's like you're a runner and I'm a walker. Like that's kind of the analogy I came up with. And I think it's so true because you're very impatient. You love to just grind hard and go crash and burn. And me, I kind of just like to take these little steps day by day to, work on myself. We both have the big vision, the big picture in mind. We just kind of go at our own pace. We go at
different
our own
ways of doing it.
Ways of doing it for sure. And,
Yeah.
But
we are similar in respects too, in that how we approach things.
We are. I think we're definitely very. I think you and I we're overall we're extroverts. I think in terms of business.
Hands down,
we're extroverted. Just depends on the vibe of the people, I guess. We will reflect that, but we're more extroverted. We're very people oriented. We love to communicate and talk with people.
We don't shut up.
We do not shut up.
Dude, we'll talk your ear off for hours.
We do not shut up. But here, that's another good thing, though, is like we're very good at making people feel comfortable, I think.
Yes, you and I are very good influencers.
We're very good at that. I think that's a skill.
Yeah.
To make people feel comfortable.
Make people at ease. Yeah. That'll get you far.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even like to look at it that. I just like talking to people.
Me too.
I just like dealing with people. I just love working in a room and just being fun and just that's what makes a good. I think that's also a good, excellent trait for an entrepreneur to have. If you can, sort of switch gears and just be super personable and be like, have fun with it, even when shit goes wrong.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, you need to acknowledge when things go wrong, but you always need to have a positive attitude.
Yeah,
for sure. So
yeah,
it's
awesome.
How much time have we got? How long have we been talking? What's the time to say on the cameras?
It's just about 9 o'clock.
We've probably been going for like an hour and a half.
That's just just almost an hour and a half. Yeah.
Have some closing thoughts. How do we want to end this? I mean, maybe we'll think.
I need a drink.
I need a drink too. I could eat. I could
eat too.
I had I kind of skipped a meal, so I need to.
Yeah.
I need to go eat. But no, to keep this back on point and to kind of conclude. I mean, just like I like kind of doing this. Like maybe we could do this every now and then. It's sort of like we just on the podcast we just check in with each other and
call it off the cuff.
Off the cuff, yeah.
We're gonna solidify that right now. We'll call it off the cuff. The off the cuff segment where every few episodes or every few weeks, I don't know how we'll divvy it up. We'll be just sort of have like a conversation.
Yeah.
Just shooting from the hip and that's it.
I kind of like that. Let us know if you guys like that. More importantly, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, off the cuff, and no, I think that's important. We'll just Johnny and I. We're very happy to be having the show, and
we are,
communicating, telling our story with you guys, and hope you guys are enjoying it.
Yes.
Hope you guys are finding it helpful, and for those of you that are listening, we are so thankful, and we're just very happy to be doing the show for you, and. No, we've talked all for the past hour and a half. We talked about our flaws and things that we're trying to work on and all that, but we got our goals in mind and we're going to get there. We've got a plan, and
damn straight.
I think as long as we keep that in mind, we don't divert, we don't, like we said, react emotionally. We will
stay
get
German
there.
Shepherds.
Yeah, stay German Shepherds. Yeah. You got any closing thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I echo all of that, and I'm just sort of thinking like housekeeping wise too. For our Instagram, we're probably gonna have that. I'm gonna make that this week.
Yeah, dude. If you want to be the one to do that, that's fine. If not, I can help with that. But we've got we've got these episodes, and I've got the cut downs, just clips from the episodes that I can definitely put up there.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. And, even once you get merch, I know I got some merch that's rolling in that people should definitely check out when I make it available. But we'll link up, in addition to our own personal pages, we'll link our merch onto that page for, my music, your film.
Yeah, we'll set that up for sure. Maybe a selfie or something. But also, we want to create engagement too.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
You guys, whether it's you reach out to us or maybe we
Q&As.
Q&As.
Some lives maybe.
That'd be fun. Yeah. We should definitely do that. Yeah. We should have done a live when we did this.
It's all good. We can do just an idea I had. We can do it next time. We'll
do it next time. We'll
call from the couch.
Yeah, we're gonna come up with that. We're gonna come up with ways to create engagement and things like that. So
yeah, definitely DM us once we get it up.
Totally. Yeah, slide into our DMs.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, I mean, I know I didn't kind of give a closing thought there, but I guess to just kind of
important to communicate. But
yeah, but just to kind of echo like what you were saying. Just being able to roll with it, I guess has sort of been the whole theme, literally throughout the night.
Yeah,
with the setup and everything. And I know you and I have been talking about just rolling with it, and don't get emotional with it. Just sort of stay true to your goals, and again, have that tunnel vision to always just be a beacon of hope for where you want to be.
Totally.
You have that end goal, and it's like, okay, well, that's gonna get me through it all. And I might have to shoot from the hip once in a while, like we did tonight, to get to that goal.
Yeah,
I think this whole episode is sort of in testament to that.
Totally.
But I like this. Yeah, I like the setup, and
it's fun.
I kind of like this idea of off the cuff. I think we gotta roll with it. So
yeah, I think it's a great idea. And next week we will hopefully have our original setup back. But this is fun. This is interesting.
Yeah, man.
Interesting way to record. We got it all going. It looks great. So I think it sounds great.
No doubt.
So, all right. Well, thank you all for listening. Enjoy your week. Go kill it this week.
Yeah. Have a fun weekend too.
Yeah.
Friday. It's almost Friday.
Yeah. At the time we're recording this, we're going to post it on Monday.
Right.
But
I always got to,
treat it like it's Friday.
Treat it like it's Friday. Yeah. Every day is Friday.
Totally.
I got to keep thinking that.
Thank you all for listening. Hope you all found this very entertaining and helpful, what have you. And we'll see you all in the next one.
Thank you very much. We're out.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.